Okay, let's see how many people have joined. Good morning, all. Welcome to this Sunday broadcast of yet another episode by iSchoolConnect on how to study abroad. Let's wait for a few minutes for our fellow colleagues to join. And yes, meanwhile, you guys can punch in the cities from where you all are, and let's see who all are there from different cities. We'll wait for a few minutes and for our fellow colleagues to join, and then we're going to have this very interesting session on a step-by-step guide on studying abroad. Okay, let me see where all our fellow folks are from. Okay, we have an individual from Kolkata. We have few participants from Pune. That's wonderful. We have Alicia from Roorkee joining us. Welcome, Alicia. Okay, we have few more participants joining from Lucknow. That's wonderful. Welcome, guys. I can see most of us are from India. That's wonderful. Let's give it a few more minutes for everybody to join. Okay, I can see the numbers rising. That's wonderful. Okay, we have Anuthi from Hyderabad. Okay. Yeah, keep punching, guys. Keep on punching the cities from where you all are in the chat option. Also, I would like to inform that during the entire webinar, keep typing your questions. I will try to address almost all of them. My apologies if I miss upon any of those. You can always connect with me again via email. Okay, so there's a chat option, Galaxy A30, there, wherein you can type your queries. You can always type your queries in the chat option. I keep on monitoring the chat option and I will try to answer your questions. Hi, Harshal. Harshal is from Delhi. Welcome you all, guys. It's 11 past 3 and we will begin our webinar shortly. Okay. Okay, just hold on a second. Let me see. I hope everybody is able to see the guide, see the presentation deck, which, okay, we'll begin, guys. Okay, so during this session on studying abroad, we will be talking about these many things. We will talk about how and when you should start preparing your study abroad preparations. What are your test requirements? What for different avenues, if you want to do a master's, what will you be required as a prerequisite if you are planning to do an MBA? What will be the prerequisites if you are planning to do a bachelor's? What will be your prerequisites? Then the most important part, with the entire process, there comes your essays, your SOPs, your resumes. We will be spending quite some time on discussing what your SOPs, what your essays, content should be like, how you can actually make your content better. And then once you are done with your applications, what will be the final leg of preparation, which includes visas, finances, and logistics. We will be helping you out. And this entire 1 hour of conversation, it should be a two-way conversation wherein I speak about it and you ask me questions. We will discuss this entire process and clarify a few myths wherein we will discuss what are the do's and don'ts when it comes to studying abroad. So this webinar is sponsored by iSchoolConnect. iSchoolConnect is basically our technology company sponsored by Google, and it has a bunch of AI, artificial intelligence tools for students like you who want to pursue international education. You can always visit the website at a later stage and see what all iSchoolConnect's offerings are. Okay, let's begin. We'll begin by a short poll wherein we will see uh, how many of you who are attending this webinar want to pursue higher education and higher education primarily abroad. So we'll launch a poll, just select the option wherein you wish to, if you want to pursue higher education abroad. So can we have the poll, please? Okay, just select the option and I'll give you a few seconds to do that. Okay, select either yes, select either no, or if you're confused, you think yes, I want to, yes, I don't want to, you can select a maybe. I hope everybody has done with their selection of whether they want to pursue higher education abroad. Can we have the results, please? Oh, that's wonderful. All the entire audience in our webinar today wants to pursue study abroad, and they are focused. Wonderful guys, you are a focused bunch of group. That's amazing. Okay, moving on. Let's see another poll for you guys. Which country do you want to study in? You can select. There's a bunch of options which are there. Select the options which are there among the options, or if there is, if you have other option in mind, you can always select the other option. These are the primary major receiving countries which receive students from India and many other countries and are famous for international education. So select the options. I'll give you another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can we have the results, please? Oh, this is interesting. 89% of the attendees which we have want to pursue their education in USA. That's good. We have several options in UK. There are people who want to study in Canada. 56% Canada. This is interesting. Australia, another 22%. Singapore, 11. Germany, 56. That's an interesting statistic. Okay. There are a few people who have other options in mind. We're going to discuss those as well and see what comes out to be the best option. Okay, let's close the poll and move on. So this slide is very powerful. This slide is important as well. It shows how many number of Indian students who are studying abroad in various countries. As you can see, most of you selected USA. That's again a good option. USA again receives the maximum amount of students, Indian students who wish to pursue international education. Close to 2 lakh students go to USA every year to study. Next is Canada. Canada is approaching USA very fast in terms of education. They have good education, they have decent amount of opportunities post education that makes Australia and Canada both a very lucrative option of studying abroad. Next is New Zealand. Again, this is an interesting stat. Bahrain has a lot of Indian students, primarily because a lot of Indians go there for work, and their kids actually study there. Another interesting country which has come up is China, wherein people from India, many Chinese universities are among the top 50 globally ranked universities. So China is again, China is interesting because There are a lot of universities who have changed their mode of education, mode of language to English rather than Chinese, which previously was a challenge for many international students. Remaining popular countries are UK, Germany, Russia as well. Russia is famous for their medical universities. France is another interesting country. Okay, if I have to select, people ask me this question, that if I have to select a destination, which country it should be on, which country it should be. So what we did was we created this fabulous table wherein we compared several countries on 5 parameters. These 5 parameters are visa, quality of study, career prospects, affordability, and scholarship. These 5 prospects are very important to all Indians who want to pursue education. So if I have to select, if I have to rank various countries on these 5 parameters, this is how it will be. So if I have to talk about USA ranks very high among all these countries. USA ranks the topmost when it comes to quality of study and career prospects. So I've given a 5-star rating on quality of study and career prospects, but USA is very strict when it comes to visas and PRs. So that's why a 3-star rating on that. USA again is slightly expensive when it comes to international education. But if you see in terms of scholarships, USA gives the largest amount of scholarships when it to international students. That's why it becomes one of the most lucrative country for people who want to study abroad. Canada and Australia, if you see, they are the most relaxed countries when it comes to visas and PRs. That's why they have received a 5-star rating on the visa and PR. People who wish to stay abroad post their education, they prefer Canada and Australia because they have one of the easiest visa and PR policies. In terms of affordability, again, Australia and Canada are slightly expensive. If you are looking for an affordable country, UK and Singapore are one of the most affordable countries when it comes to international education. So keep lookout for this table. I will share this PPT with you guys at the end of the seminar webinar, and you can just come back to me with questions. This again is a chart, a roadmap when it comes to for us to decide when should we start preparing. Most of you will be in your 12th standard. Most of you will be in your final or your pre-final year. So that's when you should actually think, start preparing for your international education. So this presentation talks about when you should start preparing. So I typically advise all my students that they should start preparing for their international education at least 12 months in advance. Start researching, begin with researching your colleges, deciding upon a program which you want to study, start selecting, start analyzing, start finding countries which will suit your future goals, which will suit your career objectives, what sort of jobs you want to land. So start with research. Research is very important. Then once you are done with your research and you have some clarity in mind, which university, which program you want to pursue, find the eligibility criteria of those programs. Then start preparing for your examinations. With 11 months in hand, you should start preparing for your exams, be it GMAT, be it GRE. We will discuss in subsequent slides about GRE, GMAT, and all these SATs, all these exams, and what are the nuances of these exams and how you should prepare for these exams. So with 11 months in mind, you should start preparing for your exams. With 10 months in hand, you should simultaneously start collating your mark sheets and your documents. There is a whole checklist of documents, which I will share with you guys, wherein all these documents are required by universities when it comes to international studies applications. So with 9 months in hand, while you are preparing for your exams, you should also start preparing you should kickstart your university applications as well. Guys, I will answer your questions. Yes. With 9 months in hand, you should kickstart your university applications as well. Once you are doing that, so you have to think that you have to apply for scholarships as well. Some universities have a separate application process when it comes to scholarships, but many universities have applications, scholarship applications along with the university applications as well. So subsequently start applying for scholarships as well. With 7 months in hand, you should start drafting your essays, SOPs, and LORs. Most Indian students miss out on this important document as resumes, essays, LORs. These are very critical. You should spend enough amount of time because these are documents which can actually make or break your application. What typically students do is that they spend 70% of the time preparing for GMAT, GRE scores and neglect their resumes, essays, and LORs and their SOPs. Rather, it should be the opposite. 70% of your time should be spent preparing for your essays, applications, resumes, LORs, all that. And only 30% of your time should go into your GMAT, GRE, SAT preparations. Very important because only universities give weightage to each of these categories. 70% of your weightage is given to your application and only 25 to 30% of weightage is given to your SATs, essays, SATs, GRE, GMAT scores. So be clear in your thought. You need to spend time in proportion on your on the entire application. Spend 70% of your time on your essays, SOPs, LORs, and 30% of your time in your GMAT, GRE preparation. So with 6 months in hand, you should be done with your applications, with your and you should finally pay your application fee. With 5 months in hand, you should keep monitoring your applications, keep on checking whether you have whether you have received an exception offer, acceptance offer, or you have got a rejection letter. So typically, I advise all my students to apply to at least 6 universities to reach, to dream, to safe universities, so that you are prepared for all circumstances and you do not get delayed. Many students make error wherein they apply only to a few handful of universities, either two or three universities only. And if in case, God forbid, they receive a rejection from all three universities, an entire year of effort gets lost. So apply to at least 5 to 6 universities to reach, to dream, to save. Reach are basically where you have a moderate chance of getting admit. Safe are where you have a high chance of getting an admit, and dream wherein those are Ivy Leagues, those are aspirational universities where you have a low chance of getting an admit. So with 4 months in hand, you should start thinking about student loans. In case you require finances, you should start approaching companies you should start approaching banks who offer student loans. With 3 months in hand, you should be ready with your student visas. You should have submitted your visa applications, have prepared, you have spent some amount of time preparing for your visa interviews. Visa interviews are very critical. I'll give you a statistic. Almost 30% of US visa applicants, education US visa applicants, get rejected every year. So think about all the effort you spent for 12 months and finally you fail on the D-Day wherein your student visa application gets rejected. So spend good considerable amount of time preparing for your visa interviews. It's very important, guys. With 2 months in hand, you should be ready with your flight tickets. You should have all your thought clarity, where you want to stay, accommodation, your student SIM cards in case. All that should be, your travel plan should be ready. And with 1 month in hand, you should actually start preparing and start thinking and get excited for your travel. So be clear on this entire uh, slide. It's a very powerful slide. You should work in this direction as per this slide which I have created. Okay, let me hide this. Okay, this again, a lot of students don't have clarity as to what are examinations, what are the sort of examinations which are there for international education, and which examination do they need to give for various kinds of study abroad applications. So there are primarily two categories of examinations. One is English proficiency examinations, and the second is primarily primarily aptitude tests which are there. So if I talk about the first category, aptitude tests, so there are three examinations which fall under aptitude tests: GRE, SAT, GMAT. The top three slides which are you are able to, top three rows which you are able to see, fall under the aptitude tests. So GRE is for management studies as well as master level studies. GRE is primarily accepted. The total score out of is out of 340. These are the following countries where GRE is accepted: USA, UK, Canada, France, Singapore, China. So almost every country across the globe accepts GRE. So the total cost of a GRE exam is 205. The score is valid for 5 years. Guys, this is important. So another exam is SATs. SATs for all the students who are interested in studying undergraduate, want to do their bachelor's. This is the exam you want to give. 1600 is the total score of the exam. Indians typically score on an average and upwards of 1400 out of 1600. 1400 is a good score when it comes to SATs. SATs again scores typically about $100. Another interesting exam which majority of students take who want to pursue their MBAs, their masters in abroad, they have to give their GMAT exam. GMAT is out of 800. Typically, to land a good institution in the US or in Canada, you need to score upwards of 650. So the scores, average scores, which are displayed over here, are international average scores, but typically Indians score higher, and they are expected to score higher. So if you want to land into a business school, Ivy League business school, so think about targeting an upwards of 700 score. So GMAT costs around $250 in for a one time, and again, it's valid for, the score is valid for 5 years. So the second category of examinations is basically the English proficiency tests. So because most of these countries are English speaking, native English speaking countries, they require us Indians to appear for these English proficiency tests. Just to know that students who are going from India or anywhere, international students, they will be receptive to the mode of education. They will be able to understand the classrooms, what the professors are speaking, because the mode of delivery will be English. So it's a prerequisite. Yes, I understand it's a little flimsy on the grounds wherein all Indians, most of the Indians have their medium of education in English, but still you will have to take it because it's mandatory. So the most popular examinations are TOEFL and IELTS. They are accepted across all countries. TOEFL again is preferred in the US, whereas IELTS is accepted all over the world. So yes, TOEFL is out of this. TOEFL is out of 120. Typically, you should score above 90 to clear that benchmark. IELTS is again it's split into several bands, and they score out of 9. So typically, an average student should score in upwards of 6.5 to land to clear that benchmark. Other widely accepted examinations are ACT and PTE. PTE is accepted primarily in Australia, but gradually it's growing. ACT is for undergraduate examinations, people who want to pursue in bachelor's in the US. So they'll have to give the ACT exam. So guys, keep on posting your questions. I will take your questions and I will try to answer all of them. So a question arises, when should you start writing? When should you start writing for your applications, for your essays, for your SOPs? So again, essays and SOPs are your primary tools to convince a university that yes, you want to pursue international education, you are serious. So today, for all students who want to pursue international education, who are attending this webinar, today is the day wherein you start. This is the day. Now is the moment when you start preparing your application, your essays, your SOPs, and looking towards your future. If you are serious for your education, you should start preparing right away. And today is the day wherein you start preparing for your international education. Lay out a plan, lay out a plan of action for yourself, and set milestones. Yes, now I want to start researching. I will complete this research part by this day. I want to kickstart my applications by this day. This, you have to have that sort of clarity when you start applying for international education. So because SOPs, essays, and your resumes, your LORs are so critical to your application process, iSchoolConnect has created an AI-based tool called as the document grader, wherein you can simply copy paste your essays and it will do the remaining stuff for you. It will do sentence structuring, it will do a grammar check, it will do a plagiarism check, it will do readability scoring, subjective grading, all that admission specific requirements. In the next few slides, I'll show you the capabilities of the document grader AI tool which iSchoolConnect has created. The 7-day trial of this tool is free, available for free to all students. They simply have to register on the website and they'll get a 7-day trial of this SAP tool. So students can simply copy paste their essays in this area and click on analyze. So the tool analyzes your SOP on all these important parameters and tells you whether you have written about self-motivation. If you have written about self-motivation, what percentage or what proportion have you written about your self-motivation? Have you written about your work experience? Have you written about your academic experience? Have you written about your choice of program? Why I want to do this program? Choice of school, why I selected this school? What are your future goals post-education? So all this gets analyzed in real time and feedback is given to you. So there's a detailed report section wherein you can actually view a detailed report, what your peers have written who are applying to a similar university, a similar program. And it will give you feedback. It will ask you questions that you see, you haven't written about this, write this, incorporate this. It not only analyzes word count and readability. So this is what I'm talking about. You have to speak about the must-haves. So the report analyzes, the tool analyzes this. These are the options you want to write. These are the options you want to show in your SOP. So this is a very helpful tool which you should actually utilize. Also, it analyzes grammar. So long paragraphs are very, sentence structuring is very important when it comes to your essays. So long paragraphs are very bad. You shouldn't write long paragraphs. Long sentences, again, affects your readability. So it analyzes, you can simply check grammar, voice, long paragraphs, long sentences, everything in your SOPs, and it will give you feedback and you can improve upon your essays all in real time and sitting at the convenience of your home. So it's a 7-day trial is available for free on the platform, and make use of that platform, make use of that tool. Let me take a few questions. I'm receiving a lot of questions from all of you guys. Let me see. Okay. There are a few questions. I wanted to ask a question for my daughter. Consultancies here are demanding exuberant amount to guide us. Yes, there's a lot of people, companies claiming that I'll help you out and I'll do this for you. I'll do this. I'll do it for free. I'll charge you this. I'll get you scholarships. I'll get you this university and that university. Guys, if I talk about Mumbai alone, where I am in, Mumbai alone has more than 5,000 consultants who claim to guide you, and they'll charge you money, and at the end they'll disappoint you. So be careful about these consultancy companies. They are there to basically misguide you, and they'll have a bunch of bunch of partner universities wherein they get commission, and they'll keep on pushing you for those partner universities. So be clear on your objectives. Do keep researching about your future aspirations, about your universities. Take control of your future, as well as iSchoolConnect is there to guide you in that space. Yes, we do provide guidance for international education, so you can actually visit our website if you want to see. Our charges are very nominal when it comes to consultancy services. We are a Google sponsored company, and aren't the typical consultants which are there in the market, but we are a technology company creating a bunch of AI based tools to help students like you for international education. Okay, a few more questions. um, just a second. Okay. Harshal has a question. What exam do we have to give for undergraduate for computer science and business management? So Harshal, as I rightly mentioned, primarily for undergraduate, you need to give an English proficiency exam as well as an aptitude exam. So English proficiency exam can either be an ACT or a TOEFL. An aptitude exam for you will be the SATs for you. Okay. So Alicia has a question. I want to pursue PhD in the US or in Germany. I'm in the last semester of my chemistry master's in IIT. What can I expect to get the admission? So Alicia, PhD is slightly typical, not aligned to the process which I have discussed. There are a few overlaps when it comes to PhDs. So the best way for you to apply for PhDs is basically uh, connect with university professors, so for example, you are doing chemistry masters. So start connecting with professors in various international universities which you aspire to, and start talking to them about your research, about your interest areas, all that stuff, and try to convince them why you are an ideal candidate. Once a few professors are convinced about your aspiration for PhD, then they can invite you for a PhD in their universities. Entirely depends upon the professors over there. Then you will have to give either a GRE and an English proficiency test. Then you can actually start applying for your PhDs. But the initial step will be to start approaching professors across the globe, institutions of your choice. Okay, Deepak has a question. Deepak Jangir has a question. He is studying BBA and he wants to do an MBA abroad. Okay, he owns a business online. That's good, and he would like. And by the time I apply for MBA in 2020, he would have gained a solid 6 to 7 years of experience. That's good. That's interesting. So. An interesting next step for you, Deepak, should be to shortlist a bunch of universities basis what your profile is. So you can connect with me, with one of my expert counselors, and they'll analyze your profile and suggest a bunch of universities which will be ideal for you. So once those ideal profiles are shortlisted, ideal universities are shortlisted, you can actually start, you can check the eligibility and start preparing for your examinations. So I recommend that because you are interested in a B school, you should you should appear for your GMAT exam. Then once you get a decent score in your GMAT, target a score of 700 plus for yourself. Your 7 years of experience will help you land a good university along with a scholarship. But guys, one important step for you to differentiate yourself from the crowd. A typical university in USA or Canada receives hundreds of thousands of applications. So to differentiate yourself, you need to have, see, academics everybody has. You have to differentiate yourself from the crowd by doing something different, be it music, be it sports, be it community service. I recommend you all to join an NGO and work towards it during weekends, after your working hours, after your jobs. Spend considerable amount of time working on building your building your community profile as well. Help the needy. That is what universities look for. Uh, do something co-curricular apart from your typical 9 to 5 work or something. Take initiatives. Uh, Again, sports, music is something which you can actually look into. Another interesting thing which you can do is for students who are actually studying and are in their pre-final or their final years of examination, join as many internships as you can, uh, publish as many research papers as you can. Students, universities look for such differentiation factors, and they give weightage to those aspects. Academics is one thing, but all this stuff which I just talked about will help you differentiate yourself from the crowd. So keep on doing that. Deepak, again, you should again pay heed to what I just mentioned and work upon that. Which Galaxy A30 asks, which application is this for writing SOPs? Please guide us. I'm not able to understand. Okay, so this tool is the document grader tool. The name of this tool is the document grader. If you visit www.iSchoolConnect and register on the platform, you will get a 7-day trial of this document grader tool once you register. So the option, if you go register on the website, you'll go to a dashboard. You log into the dashboard. In the overview section, you'll see a banner which will say that you can start your 7-day trial. So make use of this tool. It's going to help you a lot. I hope Galaxy A30, I have answered your question. Harshil again has a question. How to get scholarships? Again, scholarships is very important, Harshil. You need to understand that this entire, because education is so expensive abroad, all of you should actually target getting a scholarship. Universities look for a differentiation. Why is Harshil different from all the thousands of applications a university receives, wherein everybody is good in academics? Harshil is good in academics, everybody else is good in academics. But why should I give a scholarship to Harshil? That's where you have to differentiate yourself. Sorry about hold on a second, guys. So why should Harshil receive a scholarship? So internships, research paper, community service, all that helps you differentiate yourself from the crowd. Again, scholarships again are of two types. One is merit-based scholarship. The second is need-based scholarship. If you come from a academically financially weak background, then there is a specific quota of scholarships which are there for financially weaker people. But again, they give only to they give those need-based scholarships to good, brilliant, deserving students. Then there is a merit-based scholarship, which are the exceptional people, which are probably gold medalists or probably who have done community service, research, all that stuff, and they get those merit-based scholarships. So most universities have a scholarship process along with their regular application process. Some universities have a different scholarship process, which is again which happens after you complete your regular application process. So it depends from university to university. You can again connect with me over email, connect with iSchoolConnect over phone or email, and we'll help you out understand this the process of applying for a scholarship in a detailed. You can again visit our YouTube channels. We have two YouTube channels. One is Study Abroad Guide, which is a channel hosted by my CEO, Ashish Fernando. And there's another YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/iSchoolConnect. It has a bunch of videos wherein you can discuss, where you can understand about scholarships, lot of information, lot of interesting things which are there for to understand scholarships and various other processes. Okay, what are your charges for consultancy? Galaxy A30, you can visit our pricing page on our website, iSchoolConnect.com. We are currently running a bunch of offers for a bunch of discounts for consultancy services. Stay tuned for that, and we'll help you out with that. Okay, Rama has a question from Chennai. I have 17 years of work experience. That's wonderful in software and in telecom research and development labs. I'm currently aged at 40 and interested in pursuing masters in robotics and AI in the US. Oh, yes. Rama, it's a wonderful opportunity for you. I'll tell you, masters and management courses typically in the US, they look for people who can bring in diversity. You have 17 years of work experience. You'll add a lot of value. You'll add a lot of color into their batch, and universities will be happy. They'll happily accept you as a candidate. And wherein, because you'll bring a lot of thought, there'll be people with 2 years of experience, there'll be people with 5 years of experience, there'll be people with 10 years of experience. You'll be one of those people with 17 years of experience, and you'll be able to add a lot of perspective, a lot of color, and any university will be happy to grant you admissions. So let's connect at a deeper level and see what we can actually do for you. My daughter, Galaxy A30, my daughter wants to do mass communication and journalism and media communication. Where can she do a short internship to make her profile good? So again, there are a lot of websites, there are a lot of companies who offer short internships. Your daughter will have to do some research. She can check on Internshala. She can connect with people on LinkedIn and connect with media houses on LinkedIn and check their websites and stuff if they are willing to offer internships in mass communication and journalism. So LinkedIn, Internshala, bunch of websites, connect with people wherein media houses, wherein she can land a good internship. Okay, so the last phase of the entire study abroad journey is also very critical. So iSchoolConnect, typically what you require at the very end is loan assistance, courier services for you to for you to send your transcripts. So for travel and stay, you require a bunch of services. So all that iSchoolConnect has taken care of. So we have partnered with India's biggest NBFC, Incred, for loan assistance. For courier services, we have collaborated with an international company called as eShip Global. For travel and stay, Skyscanner is one of the biggest website for travel in the world. And Forstay is another website for your accommodation needs, long-term accommodation needs in the US and across the globe. So we have partnered with all these organizations to help you with that entire process. And these services are there with our, you get all these services with our subscriptions as well. So another interesting thing is we have collaborated with one of the biggest test prep companies, Magoosh, which provides online assistance for GMAT, GRE test prep preparations. So you get a bunch of discounts on Magoosh subscriptions if you connect uh, to them via iSchoolConnect. Okay, moving on. So people were asking what are our charges. They can actually visit pricing page of iSchoolConnect and check out the various packages we have. We primarily have two paid packages. One is the essential and one is the premium. There, the entire description is there on our pricing page. To all people who have attended this webinar, we are giving a 25% discount, flat discount, and the offer will expire in the next 24 hours. You post this webinar, you'll receive the details as to how you can avail this offer of 25% discount. We have a few more questions. I'll take those questions as well. So Siva Ramareddy has a question: how can we get scholarships? So again, Siva, scholarships is not an easy task. Everybody across the globe is looking for scholarships. Then again, differentiating yourself from a typical applicant is important. So that's again where everything comes into picture. Uh, you should be good in academics, you should have done community service, you should have published research papers, you should have done quite a number of internships, and you should have written a good application, good SOP as to why you deserve a scholarship. Most universities require you to write an essay if you are applying for scholarships. So you have to write a compelling an essay why you deserve a scholarship. We help students, iSchoolConnect helps students apply for scholarships, and so many students have got, so we have almost dispersed close to about $500,000 worth of scholarships in the past 1.5 year. And that's the beauty of our counselors, our tools, our AI based tools that have helped students land scholarships. Anu has a question. I have recently completed CA course in India and planning to settle abroad. Which country and course would be better for you? Please advise. The best course for you, Anu, should be a management course, because it will probably a management with a focus in finance, or a master's focused in finance, that will actually complement your CA course. That's the best course which you think. And USA again is one of the best uh, country for finance. UK again is a good country to pursue finance. But if your objective is to settle abroad, Canada, you can even consider Canada and Australia as an option. Okay, Deepak, I have already answered your question. Nikhil has a question. When should I apply for an MS in UK and USA if I want to study abroad this year? Oh, 2020. Interesting question, Nikhil. So there are typically two intakes for any study abroad aspirant who wants to study abroad. So there are two intakes. One is the spring intake, which happens in between Jan to March. That's when students come and start studying. The second intake every year is the fall intake, which typically starts in the month of September. So if you wish to pursue international education in 2020, if you are finishing up with your education or your work experience in 2020 by probably May or June, the closest intake for you to start studying is September 2020. But here's the caveat. you need to submit your application by hold on a second, guys. My charger of my laptop stopped working. Okay, so if you wish to pursue by fall 2020, if you wish to apply by fall 2020, your application deadlines are very close. So application deadline will end, the third round of application deadline will typically ends by Feb end. So you need to start working right away. You have very short amount of time. As for people who wish to apply for 2021, be it spring, be it fall, now is the time for you to start with your application process. Several universities would have opened up their application for spring 2021. So here's the time you can start applying, start researching, start thinking about your international education. But if you are thinking for 2020, you just have about a month and a half to complete your entire process. So be aware of this, guys. Time is of the essence. So Akansha has a question. Hi guys, do you provide assistance for documentation? I'm about to apply to Canada, but I'm confused about the documents I need to submit. Good question, Akansha. Yes, we have an entire checklist which we provide to all our subscriptions, and the document actually tells you all the documents. It's a checklist wherein all the documents which will be required for your application. Our bunch of in-house counselors will help you with the entire process. I'll be a little quick. We just have 8 minutes in mind. Harshil, how to get scholarship? I think I've already addressed this question. Siva has this question. I want to do Canada for masters. Should I go for GRE and IELTS? Again, Siva, GRE is an aptitude test. IELTS is an English proficiency test. So, basis most Canadian universities require, there's a mandate for an English proficiency test. So IELTS is mandatory for you to appear for IELTS. But for GRE, there might be universities who require GRE, there might not be universities who require GRE. So it depends from university to university. You'll have to check universities' eligibility criteria to get to know if you have to appear for GRE or not. So you can even connect with me if you want to check. And if you have a few universities in mind, you can send it over email. Deepak, I actually did contacted many universities like Frankfurt, Canada, London Business School, Chicago Booth. They asked me to send my CV, and I made a simple CV of mine. It's currently under review. I'm currently in my second year BBA. I don't think university's admission committee will review me right now. I'm thinking to prepare for GMAT, GRE. One more question: where do I research publish? To publish research papers, you need to connect with your mentor professors at your college. They will help you out. There are a bunch of journals which have their annual journals which have research papers. All major IITs, IIMs have their research publications wherein they invite people to publish research papers. They invite you submit an abstract. They think about that abstract and then they invite you for a research paper. So you'll have to be aware when there is an invitation for publishing research paper. Just make sure, visit various universities' website. All these websites have invitations for research papers. Okay, few more quick questions. Maheshwar, are you a web-based or is there a location I can visit in Delhi? So, Maheshwar, we are a web-based organization. We are a technology company, which we are trying to make students self-reliant. We prefer to communicate via email, via video conference, via telephone, and as well as there's a self-help module wherein you'll get access to all our tools. There are primarily 4 tools which we have. One One is a recommendation engine, wherein you can type in your profile details and the tool will recommend you dream, reach, and safe universities across the globe. So that's one thing. The SOP tool, which I gave a demo of you already, is there. Then we have another tool, which is a video interview analyzer, wherein it will give you feedback on your. It will record a video about you, and you can actually practice for your MBA interviews. You can practice for your visa interviews, and get feedback in real time. You can again try out the tool. A 7-day trial is available on the iSchoolConnect website, so try it out. I'm looking for a consultancy related to MBA. I'm a CA and have 5 years of work experience. Connect with us on phone, Maheshwar, and we'll help you out. Harshal, internship abroad for self-learning, can we get? There are a lot of companies which provide internships abroad as well. OSS is another, check it out on internet. And there are a bunch of companies which help you out with international internships as well. Shreya has a question. I am a final year LLB student. I want to pursue LLM. What can I do to make my extracurricular good? Shreya, join an NGO. There are a lot of NGOs. Greenpeace is there. Teach for India is there. Make a Difference is there. ASCI is there. Join these NGOs and spend considerable amount of time doing that. Anu, I hope I have answered your question. Which city and university is good for management or masters in Canada? So Toronto is one of the best cities in Canada for masters. McGill University is one of the topmost universities for masters and management. When is the exam for TOEFL and SAT happens? Check it out check it out. The TOEFL and the SATs, these are rolling examinations, and there are dates for the TOEFL and the SATs exam. So you'll get those details on the internet. Maheshwar, I hope I have answered your question. I have commerce with IP, so can I do computer science? Interesting question. Changing a domain from the existing background, computer science, to an IP, you'll have to showcase your interest in your SOPs. Why do you want to shift from commerce to a computer science? You will have to explain that. You'll have to talk about few projects which you have done, or probably work experience or an internship in computer science you would have done, or any research or any publication. Again, these university people are individuals. They are human beings. If you are able to convince them through your essays, through your SOPs, they're not going to stop you from applying for a computer science. But there are certain universities who have a prerequisite that if you are applying for a master's in computer science, you have to have a bachelor's in a similar or a related field. But there are universities who neglect that mandate as well. So again, it entirely depends upon university to the university. Okay. Yes, I will share my contact details. Here are our contact details for you guys. You please follow us on social media. We are available. We post a bunch of information, a lot of video content as to how, why an MS versus MBA. All that information is available on our YouTube channels or on our social media channels. Follow us on YouTube. Global Survival Guide and iSchoolConnect are two very popular YouTube channels with about 15,000 subscribers and growing. And you can write to us on hello@ischoolconnect.com and call us at 91453322383. So thank you so much, guys, for attending. Stay connected, and I will help you out with all the information. And good luck for your study abroad aspirations. And stay connected. For any information, drop into iSchoolConnect.com or drop us a mail or call us anytime. We'll help you out. Stay tuned for our next webinar. We'll approach you via email. I will be sending this PPT via email, as well as the entire recording of this webinar will be available on our YouTube channel as well as on our Facebook channel. So stay tuned. If you have any questions, do throw it in our direction. We'll help you out. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Happy weekend, and stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.